contact, eye to eye. I walked up on her, now she acting all surprised. I asked her what she drinking, Casamigo with a lime. Bought her another drink, now she acting like she mine. But you fine, you a 10, girl. What's your name, where your friends, girl? Another shot for the bad girls who don't know how to act right. She said I'm down, she ain't think twice. Another round if you ask nice. 5 figure, 10 figure. She only wanna with a rich. Everything on me, I know. 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 Contact, eye to eye. I walked up on her, now she acting all surprised. I asked her what she drinking, Casamigo with a lime. Bought her another drink, now she acting like she mine. But she fine, so I hit the bartender like another round on me. How many shots do you wanna put it down on me? You got good taste, baby, tell me what you down to do. With a clown and the joke's on you, I gotta hand it to you. I just wanna be in your orbit, cause that booty like a planet, gigantic, that shit enormous. I just wanna take you home for the night, going in the morning. I'm not the type of nigga you want, and that's a warning. 5 figure, 10 figure. She only wanna with a rich. Everything on me, I know. Everything on me, I know. Everything on me, I know. Everything on me, I know.
It's morphin' time! Dragon Sword!
Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the stream today. To be honest with y'all, when I saw this story, when I woke up from my nap and I seen this story, I thought that this was a hoax for real. Sorry about that. I thought that this story was a hoax, So, of course, me being how the way I am, I have to go and investigate and come to find out that the story is not a hoax. It's actually real. Now, I don't know how many of you have watched Power Rangers, in your youth, but I watched Power Rangers a lot, in my youth. I watched it from the very first episodes all the way to the episode when Jason David Frank, which is known as Tommy Oliver, on the Power Rangers series when he first became the Green Ranger. He was an evil Green Ranger working for Rita and Lord Zed and all this stuff there. And they ended up becoming good, working with the Power Rangers. Then the episode where he ended up losing his Green Ranger powers. Then come to find out he became the White Ranger. Then from there he ended up becoming the Zeo Gold Ranger, and all these different accolades that Tommy has achieved as being a Power Ranger on this Power Ranger franchise series. Now, I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but I've been keeping up with Tommy and stuff, right? Jason David Frank, and I know that one of his biggest project that he was working on a project to resurrect Power Rangers, right, into an actual movie where it be a more realistic movie. It goes with the whole canon of the Power Ranger franchise and everything. He was working on that. He was working on revisiting his role again as the Green Ranger, but also he was revisiting the role of him working as Lord Draco as well too. Lord Draco is basically Tommy's multiverse double of him. You know what I'm saying? Or in other words, he's the evil version of him, and he became a Power Ranger known as Lord Draco. All right. So I know that he was working on that project. He was working with on Kickstarter to try to get that project launched. Now I don't know what happened between then and all the way now and stuff. But those are many of the accolades that Jason David Franks was working on. Of course, on Jason David Franks, if you've been keeping up with the modern day Power Ranger episodes, he did make a couple of appearances on the Power Ranger episode, like this picture right here. This shows him revisiting his role as the Green Ranger on the one of the Power Ranger episodes that recently came out. So he was doing a whole lot of things. He had a whole lot of accolades that was going on for himself. You know what I'm saying? He loved his job, he loved his career, he loved the franchise, and he wanted to do his very best to try to keep that going. You know, so for me to hear the news that um, Jason David Frank has died, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. It shook me for real, especially when I found out that this story is for real, that it literally happened. Now, when I was doing my investigation, as I'm gonna read this article to y'all, when I was doing my initial investigation on this, I come to find out that he had died in my own state of Texas. Now, one thing about it also is that y'all didn't know this too, that Tommy he loved the state of Texas for real. Out of every state he go to, he love the state of Texas. So he'll be on frequent in Texas. You know what I'm saying? So um, it just really shook me for real, y'all. When I found out that he passed away in Texas. So let's go ahead and get to this article. This song comes from the website Game Rant. All right. This article, this is produced by Dalton Cooper. It was published about 5 hours ago, and I kid y'all not. 5 hours ago, I was chilling, watching a movie with Mrs. Urban. Then I ended up falling asleep. Then next thing I'm waking up, getting dinner, and everything, sitting down, eating dinner with the family. Then next thing I know, I'm getting these alerts saying that Jason David Frank passed away. So here we are. But according to this article, it says this: the actor and mixed martial artist Jason David Franks has died at the age of 49. Frank rose to fame in the 1990s for his role in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as Tommy Oliver, the original Green Ranger. Oliver would go on to become one of the most popular characters in the entire Power Ranger franchise, appearing in films, multiple TV series, and various Power Rangers video games. Not to mention, he also did his personal Kickstarter about Power Ranger as well, too. The Green Ranger popularity saw Tommy eventually become the leader of the Power Rangers, donning the mantle of the White Ranger and the Mount Morphin Power Ranger and the Red Rangers for both Power Rangers Zeo and Power Ranger Turbo. Tommy would return in Power Rangers Wild Force for the fan favorite Forever Red episode, which that was one of the greatest episodes that I ever seen in the Power Ranger franchise series, to be honest with you. And he also prolonged a stint as the Black Ranger in the Power Rangers Dino Thunder. The last time Jason David Frank played as Tommy Oliver on TV was Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel. In terms of the video game, his last appearance was in the fighting game Power Ranger Battle for the Grid, which that's a pretty good game. That's a very underrated game, by the way. And that game that launched back in 2019. Now, according to TMZ, right, Jason David Frank died on November 20th in Texas, in my state, at the age of 49. TMZ sources claim that Frank committed suicide. Now, when I seen this and I seen that he actually committed suicide, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. It literally broke my heart for real to see a man of his stature, right, of his status, right, of all the accolades that he have achieved in his life, for him to end his life in suicide, to literally end his life in suicide. Now, say additional details have not been revealed at the time of this writing. Frank is survived by 4 his children. Mm-mm-mm. While Frank was best known for his role as Tommy Oliver in the Power Ranger franchise, he and other acting credits as well, appearing in the shows like Family Matters. He sure did. Sweet Valley High, that was a good episode. Tony appeared in the episode, and Undressed as well too. Frank also had a notable MMA career where he went undefeated with 4 amateur wins, 1 professional win, and 0 losses. Frank's video game appearance mainly consists of Power Rangers games. Besides the previous mentioned Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, Frank also played Tommy in the game adapted of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, and the 2004 game Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Frank has has one non-Power Ranger video game credit to its name in the form of interactive movie Piper. Now, at the very end of this article, y'all, it says this if you or anyone know who is experiencing suicide thoughts, please contact the National Suicide Helpline. Now, once again, y'all, I was stating to y'all earlier, and also in this article as well, that Mr. Frank, he had a lot of notable accolades throughout his life. His main notable accolades was for him, playing this role as a Power Ranger, as the Green Ranger, as the White Ranger, as the Black Ranger, as the Ninja Ranger. He had a notable career as being an MMA fighter, went undefeated as an MMA fighter. This man have children, have a life, and all these different things. But decided to end his life at the age of 49 due to suicide. Now, I don't know if y'all pay attention to my live that I did when I was talking about this very topic about suicide. But this is one of these cases that I've been talking about, where it appears that people, to our eyes, it appears that people just have, their life together. They're living their life. They're living their dreams. They're doing the things that they're meant to do on this planet. Even with him, Jason David Franks, even with him having everything that he could dream of in his life, he decided to end his life through suicide. This is why I advocate so much about bullying. I advocate so much about cyberbullying. I advocate so much about us having, moral compasses. I advocate so much about, at least being, our brother's keeper and our sister keepers and, all the good stuff. I advocate that so much so because you just don't know what that person is going through. You just don't know the type of struggles people are dealing with in their personal space. Now, I remember a long time ago that I had seen a story about this dude who hated the Green Ranger, right? Now, notice I said the Green Ranger. I didn't say Jason David Franks. I said this dude hated the Green Ranger. Okay. So this dude, according to this story, right, this dude tried to attempt to kill the Green Ranger, which we know the Green Ranger is Jason David Frank. So this dude, he attempted to try to kill this dude, ended up being arrested for it, and got tried for it. And through that trial, right, this dude was just saying that he just did not like the Green Ranger. He didn't say he didn't like Jason David Frank. This dude said he did not like the Green Ranger. And I want y'all to think about that. I want y'all to think about that real close. This dude said he didn't like the Green Ranger, a fictional character. This is why I say once again, also dealing with moral compasses and also hell lives where I, when I'm being serious, like I'm being serious right now about people mental space as well too, where you need to just really just pay attention to where people's mind is at. Because you don't never know where a person's mind is at. Then certain things will antagonize a person to lead them to do, those wicked things to each other. Also in this same situation with Jason David Frank, where once again he had everything going for himself, his life and everything, his career as a as a representative of a Power Ranger or the franchise and stuff like that, had all these different things going for him, right? But yet it's still the only way for a person to have that mentality to not only not only want to commit suicide, but to actually initiate and do it. That leads me to believe that Mr. Ron Frank had a lot of emptiness inside of him. He had a whole lot of unresolved things that he was dealing with inside of him. Perhaps a certain situation was happening where um, he wanted something to happen, probably with the with the Power Rangers or wherever the case may be, and it just didn't go the way that he wanted it to go, and it drove him to him committing suicide. Maybe that's what happened. Perhaps it was a situation with his family, with his loved one. Maybe he was dealing with relationship issues with his loved one. Maybe with his the mother of his children. Maybe that could be the possibility where it just got so bad where he just felt like that he just wanted to end it all. Maybe he was dealing with the society period, since he being a celebrity and people know him for being the Green Ranger. Like I stated earlier, one dude tried to take his life for being the Green Ranger, tried to literally kill him for being the Green Ranger. Maybe all that popularity and notoriety, right? Maybe all this popularity and notoriety was too much to bargain for him, and he decided that I'm just tired of it. Enough is enough, and I'm just going to end my life to get rid of it all, so I could finally have peace. Now, all these different scenarios that I'm mentioning to y'all today on this podcast, y'all. These are just hypotheticals. I'm not saying that this is the real reason why, because at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm only just going by what different various sources is telling me. But the things that I mentioned, what I'm saying, it does speculation. It does what I'm just throwing out there, you know. But I do know this. I do know this that it had to take a very tough situation for a person to want to end their life. And let me put it to y'all this way: I don't know if y'all ever been in that space where you had them suicidal thoughts before. I don't know if y'all never been in that space before, but when a person enter into that space, one of the main reasons why they enter into that suicidal space is because there are situations in their life they deem it as being hard. They deem it as being stressful. It's tough. They deem it as there's no other solution other than for me to go ahead and just end it all. Like I say, I don't know if y'all ever been in that space before where you even had suicidal thoughts, but that's normally what happens is that you be in such a stressful environment, a stressful space, and you just at the end of the day, a person who wants to commit suicide and a person who actually act upon it as well too. At the end of the day, the number one thing that they're looking for, the number one thing that they're looking for is peace in their life. Say that again. The number one thing that they're looking for is peace in their life. They just simply want to just live their life to the fullest without all this unnecessary bullcrap. But unfortunately, through the choices that they made, and also due to participate in things that are out of their control as well too, These situations can put you in a space where you're not at peace, where you be not at peace, and these situations keep coming and coming and coming, and to the point where you just can't take it no more. And you just want peace. And you figure that the only way for you to achieve peace is just to let it all go and end it all. And once again, this is the mindset of a person who's has suicidal thoughts, and also the mindset of a person who act upon it as well. Now, my condolences is out for Mr. Frank and his family as well too. This is a very very sad story, but one thing remains as certain as this, y'all. We need to pay attention to the things that we do to each other on an everyday basis. That's where it boils down to. I don't know if y'all are paying attention to the things that are happening that's notably that's in our nation in the United States. I don't know if y'all paying attention to this, but every single day it seems like more and more we are losing our moral compasses, y'all. We're losing the very thing that we carry to make us be human. We constantly bully each other. We constantly beef with each other. We constantly fight against one another. We will literally tear each other apart just because we think because it's in our right to do so, just to get a moment of fame and notoriety, y'all. Just for that moment. And indeed, you'll get it. You'll get it. But we never don't think about the person who's on the other end of this. We never don't think about that. We don't never think about how the way the other person on the other end is responding to this, how the way the person on the other end is feeling by this. We don't think about things like that. We don't think about the mental stability of the person who's in the receiving end of all this. You know what I'm saying? We don't think about that. All we do is laugh and do it again the next day and do it again the next day and the next day. The next thing you know, we end up seeing stories just like Mr. Ron Frank's story where this man ended up committing suicide. One last thing, y'all, before I end this on live. Like I say, this is more of a serious live to me because it really did affect me a lot. You know what I'm saying? Especially with Mr. Jason David Frank and everything that he achieved, especially through my childhood. Um, I said on my podcast on a week ago and stuff that my last podcast I did a week ago, right? I had mentioned about when I was younger, right? I mentioned when I was younger, right, that I used to be the victim of being bullied, right? Once again, I used to be the victim of being bullied and stuff, right? But I know this sounds very cliche or probably sound weird to some people, but it is what it is. One of the main things that kept me going, that kept me from not being in the same space where Mr. Frank ended up going to, right, was the Green Ranger, was the White Ranger. And the reason why is because his character, I always talk about positive things, right? I always encourage the younger kids, you know what I'm saying, to do what's right. And I always encourage kids to, you know what I'm saying, to not to be victim of being bullies, but also encourage the younger kids to to think intelligently, you know what I'm saying, to think with your mind. Even though also he was teaching about martial arts, that it's okay for you to defend yourself when the time is up for you to defend yourself. But at the same time, he used to teach a lot of lessons on y'all about how to deal with bullying. Even they even did a couple of episodes on the Power Rangers series talking about this very thing about bullying and everything. And the reason why it affects me, this situation affects me, is because I learned a lot of these lessons from him, Mr. Dave, Jason David Frank. I learned these lessons from him when I was growing up, and these lessons that I learned from him, it helped me and it kept me, and it helped me to develop, like I said in my podcast last week, and it helped me to develop what is known as thick skin. Where now, when people say things about me, even in my adult life, it doesn't bother me. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand and know the reason why, and I know why people be in the spaces that they're at right now. And I have a choice. I have the choice to do what is right for me. And that's what Mr. Jason David Frank taught me. And that's what I learned. And for me to see a person that I admired, a person that taught me, through the series, even though the series was fictional, but it had a lot of realistic topics within the series. To see a person that taught me a lot about society and how the way people are, and to see him end it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, it does something to me for real. It literally does something to me. What it shows to me, y'all, and I'm just being honest with y'all tonight. What it shows to me, y'all, is that even the strongest of us, once again, even the strongest of us has a breaking point to where it is, you just be like, enough is enough. I'm just so tired of this shit. I'm so tired of it. Now, y'all may not see Jason David Frank as the strongest of us, but due to the things that I done been through, and due to the lessons I done learned from this man, it's almost as seeing um, a fallen hero. It's almost as seeing a in a sense, a God that became a man and it was slain by something as simple as life. Now, I'm not saying that I see Jason David Frank as a God or he's my God. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just using the analogy that of him being at the position that he was at, especially through my time, so my youth, and I view him as a strong person, as a strong man, and for him to fall the way he did, I ain't gonna lie, it really does something to me for real. But not something in a negative way to where I'm thinking where um, if this man here was dealing with all this and he ended up on committing suicide and losing his life, if he did this right, then what more can I do? But I'm not in that space. But where I am at is this. The space that I'm at right now is this, is that I am learning even from this lesson. I'm taking this situation with him as another opportunity to learn a lesson from all this. And the one lesson that I'm learning from this is that even though that we could be so strong, even though we could take so much, even though we could have as skin as thick as iron, right? Eventually, even iron breaks if you put enough pressure on it. So what I'm learning about this is that it had to come to a point where there had to be something even greater than the strong foundation that we have. It had to be something even greater that's going to want to keep us. So when that situation do comes where your urn end up breaking, we should be at a space to where we even know how to deal with that. And so that's why I'm saying that's the lesson that I'm learning from this is that once when it happens, once when that urn does break, how am I going to react to it? What is going to be my um, move when it happens? How am I going to deal with that? And it gives me a lot to think about because I believe at that moment with Jason David Franklin, I believe when that moment happened, the one solution that he just came up with was that, man, it is what it is. I'm just fisting gone, just end it off. Just gonna end it off. But by me learning this lesson from this man, right, it's teaching me to get ready for that moment. Get ready for that moment where even though I have thick skin and it's tough and my skin is tough as iron, the moment when it gets so much pressure on it and it up breaking, right, it's teaching me to get ready for that moment. It's teaching me to be prepared for that moment. So when I be prepared for that moment and it happens, then I'll know how to deal with it. So maybe those of y'all who are watching right now, maybe um, it's the same thing for y'all as well too. Maybe his moment, the things that he did, could also be a, a lesson as well too, where we can also learn from this. That we can learn to start treating each other with respect and dignity, and get rid of all this negative stuff that we have in our heart all the time, all this hating and weird dumb stuff that we do all the time. Lisa, salute. But maybe that's a lesson that maybe that's the lesson that we need to learn. Oh, my bad if I'm kind of low, y'all. My bad. But maybe that's the one lesson that we need to learn from all this. Because if not, then what's going to end up happening again is that we're going to end up experiencing many more tragedies. Just like the that story with the young lady that ended up being murdered in Mexico. Um, Stories like that happening. So to my childhood hero, Jason David Frank, man, thank you so much for you stepping up into your calling of being an actor and being a fighter. Thank you so much for the service that you provided, not only for me but for a lot of children out there who are now my age and even younger children right now. Thank you so much for providing that acting and that service. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the lessons that you taught us. Thank you so much for that. I don't know if you haven't been receiving much praises for the things that you did, but I'm one of them, and I will tell you, thank you so much for that. Thank you for the one lessons that you have taught to us. Thank you for that. Rest in heaven, my friend.